So this is the final video in our latest retirement getaway series. In the last episode we had a great wild camp on the Whiteadder River, and Stu has a good look around the well-structured Formula One champion Jim Clark Museum, before he has a walk in the sun to the Erin Brock. Then we finally moved onto a free park-up spot in the Scottish Hills south of Edinburgh. So in this video we'll show you our final couple of days on the trip, where we eventually head home. We'll also share some stats of the trip that you may find useful.
You are ready for a different kind of life. You're silent, bold, the wind is cold. You must return to the wild.
Morning. So we had a bit of a rainy night last night. The wind picked up. Saw that good weather yesterday has disappeared. But it was a good park up. It was a bit cold. But I had my extra blanket on. Joan doesn't like the extra blankets. But as you can see, it's a bit rainy. Some condensation. So we're sat watching Ken and Carol's latest video. We're gonna have a slow morning. Meeting up with Bree Broom Van later tonight for a private meetup. Should be nice. So looking forward to that.
And it's time for us to get a wiggle on and pack up the bed and face the day. We're finding this cab divider curtain that Stu fitted really useful for security. It's also useful for extra warmth, and recently we've been using it instead of screens for speed. However, last night we used both the screens and the cab divider for warmth. And we find this collapsible box on the trip that fits under the rock and roll bed useful to put our clothes in overnight. We bring the light into Harry. Stu takes down the front internal screens. If they're dry, we store them over the back of Harry. And we start the day off, as usual, with a nice cup of tea. And we actually spent more on this than we did on our own pans. It's the most expensive wash basin, but what we wanted was something collapsible.
It is good though.
It's brilliant.
It is good.
But it did cost more than the pans we cook with.
So today's a really special day because it's wash day.
No, we are joking.
No, joke. Yeah, we wash at least once a week. No, we wash every day. But this is the Ken and Carol washing mode is quite good. We just haven't got the cloth right at the moment.
What do you mean? Oh yeah, because we're
it
using...
sits in the bottom of the pan. It needs to sit above the pan. It's a steam, not boil. So anyway,
no, but that's when we're cleaning.
That's
it.
The next trip.
Yeah.
We have to sort that out. So.
Trish and Mike, you'll be pleased to know that we are having a wash before we meet you.
Before we meet you, yeah. We won't smell as much as normal. I do feel better. I haven't done this.
There's so much steam. I'm surprised your face hasn't melted. Battery's out.
It's a bit muted.
Yeah.
There you go.
It didn't quite get the memo about the whistling.
That's how I feel. Oh, it's blowing out there, wind, rain, driving rain. I don't think we'll do much walking today. Even Groot's been blown over.
So we've managed to wash up We've really reduced how much water we use to wash up because you just don't need it. And I've washed this morning's dishes. We normally wipe the ridge monkey down, but the rest has been washed in that much, so I'm quite pleased with that.
Think we could do more?
What, more?
Less water?
Oh, come on. Stu takes the opportunity to do some video editing. So it's 2 o'clock and we are just going to visit Mike and Trish. And when we packed 5 weeks ago, we put a bag right in the back of one of the cupboards with some decent clothes in it. I've combed my hair and it didn't look any different than when I hadn't combed it, and that's van hair, but it'll just have to do
Please
for tonight.
proceed to the highlighted route and
We're
then
off.
the route guidance will start.
We eventually get ourselves into gear and make our way to Mike and Trish and of course the lovely Kira from the Wee Broom van. And if you've not seen their channel, we highly recommend it as there is some really great content.
That was a good park up.
That's a really good park up.
It's really cloudy, it's misty, can't see more than 50 metres at the moment.
The wind last night was, and the rain, but it was really comforting. I mean, generally being in a van when it's windy and rainy is just really comforting. We both had a good sleep, probably me better than Stu. We're only one day from going home, which it's gone so quick.
Yeah.
Do you think it's gone
It
really
don't feel like 5 weeks.
No, it doesn't.
We're
It's
5
gone
weeks today, actually.
Yeah, and we had a long talk about it last night. When we go to Ireland, we want to go for about 2.5 months, so we were doing the old breakdown of the trip, what we'd change, what we want to change. We've definitely got to change the amount of bloody bags we've got in the van because it's just ridiculous. We've just brought too much with us. I think everything else worked okay, so yeah, a bit sad really, but it's, like I say, all good things come to an end. We had a great night catching up on all sorts of topics over a meal at the local pub and a few jars to wash it all down, of course. And we called via Southport to visit my mum again, where we stopped last night in Harry before heading home to Shropshire. It's been a great trip in summary, which has seen us zigzag a bit across the country, with the main aim of Stu unwinding from Stu after being made redundant and taking retirement. But this trip has also been about testing us to see if we can spend at least 4 and 5 weeks in Harry, which we have never done before. So get prepared for a few stats now, as well as our summary thoughts on the trip. We can confirm that we have been on the road for 38 days and 37 nights, so that's 5 weeks and 3 days. Of those nights, we wild free camped for 29 nights out of the 37, so we're really pleased with that. We stayed 1 night on a formal campsite in Filey when we needed to recharge the battery due to the issues we were experiencing at the time, and that was a cost of £20 for 1 night. Of the 37 nights, we stayed a total of 8 nights at friends and family, so in a way you could count those as sites, albeit that it did not cost us anything. However, if we had not stayed with them, we're confident that we could have wild camped. We've used approximately 252 litres of fuel. We've spent a total of £458.22 on fuel and £9 on AdBlue, so that's a total of £467.22. So that's an average of 30 miles per gallon, which is what we'd expect Harry to do, and we're quite pleased with that. The food in total was about £299, and on average that's a cost of £60 per week. So overall we're really happy with that because we'd spend a lot more if we were at home. Eating out and drinks came to £238.91. That averages at £44 per week. Parking and tolls were £43.30. LPG was really low and we only topped up twice en route. And we've allowed another £3 for topping back up at the end of the trip, so it was £7.91. We did laundry 3 times. Twice we did it at our friends and family, and once we did it at a laundrette, and that was £8.50. The attractions at Bamburgh Castle and Jim Clark Museum came to a total of £34. However, bear in mind that we're National Trust members, so a few of the locations that we visited were already paid for in the £120 membership. So in total for 38 days and 37 nights, the total cost of the trip was £1,119.25. This equates to £206.50 per week. We feel that that's pretty good, but it's interesting that the fuel at £460 is close to 50% of the cost of the trip. We feel now, to living at home with the higher prices, we are now seeing that it has been cheaper, as we don't have all the distractions like Amazon. So overall, we've been really pleased with it. Regarding highlights and positive experience, we would call out the following. We lasted 38 days in Harry, the longest so far that we've spent, and we actually felt we could have kept going. Old camping or free camping, whatever you like to call it, we feel that we can now do it relatively stress-free and feel comfortable with this mode of travel. Absolutely love being out in the van and seeing so many different things and memories that you simply couldn't buy. Favourite places, there have been many, but Staithes, Saltburn and South Gare were in particular highlights for us both. I really enjoyed the laundry because you got tea and cake, and we're happy that we can cope with the ongoing cleaning of the clothes and bedding on longer trips, as well as washing my hair on the move. And the lowlights? Well, we both had health issues on the trip and we hadn't factored that in on a long trip, but we're now better prepared and feel we can manage that going forward. The battery issue was a negative at the time, and it caused us some concern for quite a few days, but it turned out to be something really simple. We have become increasingly frustrated at the council's short-sightedness to parking, either closing down parking or paying lip service and providing expensive parking, especially when we as a community are contributing to all sorts of businesses. And our message is simple: please don't penalise those that actually respect and contribute to the area. That said, it didn't stop us finding a place to stay overnight. So we're now excited to spend even longer in Harry and our forthcoming tour of Ireland for 10 weeks, and we now know that we can survive. At least we think we can. To help the channel, if you haven't already subscribed, please click that button, as this is one way YouTube will promote us and we plan to have many more adventures to share. We look forward to seeing you in the next few videos, which are short trips in Harry, whilst we build up to a long trip to Ireland. Finally, we'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who has watched this series. We'll leave you with a montage of our favourite moments from this series.
You're using the wrong camera.
Okay, well, alright. Yeah, I can't see. I think it's fine.
Okay.
Since Stu's retired, he seems to have...
Slow down, which is what you asked me to do. Blimey, he must have been going at speed to get up there.
Is the happy bus ready?
I don't know if I like the view.
That was nearly the one that killed us. There's only one problem with that, is I can't bloody run. Stu's tracking me, I've got water. I'm sure that was going to take a run at me. God, I'm out. Shoo shoo. That's why we're going for a walk. That's why he wants me to go for a walk, so I can carry the bloody fishing rod.
I've lost connection.
Do you feel you can see it?
I'm quite happy just to sit and watch the idiot.
Vita and low-fat Philly cheese for lunch,
That was healthy.
followed by 2 cakes. Had my first grilling
Grilling.
without filming.